You're listening to this episode on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or YouTube. Hit that subscribe button and leave us a comment. It would greatly benefit the show.
I screwed up.
What do you mean?
I grabbed a flavor that I can't stand.
What do you mean?
It's okay. I'm switching to, no free ads, but ready?
Yeah, but...
There it is.
What is it?
Yeah, I don't even know what was the last one.
It's, I'm not going to say what it's called,
but
okay. My wife and I went to this brewery on our baby moon, our first baby moon. Yeah.
Wait, a baby, but she was pregnant? A baby moon?
And she went to a brewery because they serve food. It was in San Diego.
Okay.
And actually, then we were at a film festival, and the woman who had designed the aqueducts for the brewery with brackish water that comes from the brewing process, which means you can't drink it, but it's good for plants. She designed aqueducts. So, like, when you walk into this brewery, which, again, no free ads, screw you, San Diego, there's all of this vegetation and stuff. So it's a very...
Oh, very cool. So it was aesthetically pleasing as well. So she wasn't there for the beer because she was pregnant.
No. And although we did jump on a motorized scooter together for a bit, and we determined we couldn't afterwards. But you're a stunt person. You get it. Welcome to Movie Painters. I'm Kyle.
I'm Kirk.
And we're here with Theresa Alvarado. And
hello.
Do you want... Thank you. Do you... we always start with which of your multi-hyphenates do you like people to think of you first?
Oh, that's a great question.
Yes, so... Sorry, I'm also supposed to have a timer going for my brother here so that I don't go too long.
Well, we have something to do after this. That's for also...
You have to go to a set.
Yeah,
Teresa's got important Theresa things.
Well, today is a chill day. This is my one thing, so I'm just hanging.
Cool. So which of your many things, like, are you a stunt person, an editor, or a performer first?
Well, in reference to Zoolander, I'm a slashy. Have you ever seen Zoolander?
Yeah.
When the Slashy Awards, where it's like, I'm an actor/model or whatever. So I really don't know. I think it switches around, but I mean, first and foremost, I'm Theresa, and I'm David's wife. I like to say that. And then I'm also, I'd probably say like actor editor, or actor model editor. Or like editor, actor, model. Well, it's just like Russian roulette, you know.
What about your stunt stuff? Because you're a stunt coordinator on production.
Yeah, I would say I'm not like a stunt person. I enjoy action, and I'm an actor who can do a lot of action. But I mean, to actually be a stunt performer or a stuntie is like, oh my gosh. I mean, you got to know gymnastics. You got to know all kinds of stuff. So I would put myself more in like an action actor category.
And the sports you played growing up, I'm going to jump around. I know you saw that.
I'm ADHD, so any sort of tangents are great for me because I will not stay on.
You have a diagnosis?
Yes, I do.
Oh, congratulations.
As of November, this past November, it like literally from that time, I feel like my life started making sense. And I was like, oh my God, like all these issues that I've had, it's just like, oh, I get it now. Yeah.
You understand your modes of being better.
Yes, so much better.
Did you do the IQ or emotional version of getting diagnosed? The only reason I ask is I recently went through this to win a bet.
Oh, did you? Oh, to win a bet?
We can get into that later.
Oh my God. No, wait, I want to hear. Yeah, no, I was seeing a therapist, and I had only been seeing her for a few months. And previously I'd been like, anxiety, depression, yada, all those kind of normal ones. And then she was like, I have a feeling you have ADHD. And I was like, what? Like, not on my radar at all. And I would always say, I have a lot of close friends who have ADHD, and I just understand them. And I never thought that it was because I also have it. So she was like, I'd love for you to get like the full diagnostic test. So she sent me to like a doctor who does the diagnostic testing. It was like 4 hours, and I did not anticipate that. And I was like, I have to be somewhere. I was like, can we finish this up another time? And then it was like, yeah, you have ADHD just because that. No, I'm just kidding. So they go through like kind of every test you could ever take, and I hated it. I hated those 4 hours.
So like they show you the color, and when the word matches the color, you press the button.
I did that one too.
Yeah.
I didn't do. Was it a button? The only one on a computer I did was press it. Oh gosh, now I don't even remember when it was like the number 7 or I don't know, letter A, or it was like a specific one you had to like press, and I was just like press. I was just pressing it the whole time. And they also have like someone really close to you or a partner also take a test on your behalf to like ask about questions. And so David took mine, and it came when I got like it back. He was like, "Your husband scored you at 98%
wow.
ADHD," and I was like, "No way!" I mean, he knows me through and through, so I feel like that in and of itself. But
the journalism we're going to be doing right now is that I had previously been diagnosed with ADHD or ADD, excuse me.
Okay.
Because in 2013 they stopped saying ADD and they started saying ADHD.
oh, is that what happened?
That
Is
was-
it the same thing then?
ADD doesn't exist anymore. It's
Okay.
There are AD portions, attention deficit, and then there are hyperactive
Sure.
elements that are different. So I had taken an IQ-based one back in 2009, which is like, what's my resting IQ and what's my top IQ? And if there's a 15-point difference, or if there's a certain number of point difference, I had like a 13-point difference between my top speed and my resting speed.
Oh,
and
interesting.
Like, that's, like when you're working on something, you're
Focused.
yeah, when you're
Hyper-focused type
Yes.
thing? Yeah. Huh.
But I took a more emotional-based one where my
Okay.
family members had to take the test.
Sure, yeah.
And some of the other things like what you're describing, and it came back with type A personality,
Yeah.
not ADHD.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
the reason it was a bet was because I also know you to be a Christian, and
Yeah.
wait for how I get there.
Okay.
So my adopted father, because Kirk and I are brothers,
Yes.
but I was adopted.
Oh, wait,
Grew up on the
really?
West Coast.
Oh,
yeah.
we're Farxically brothers. We're the Farx brothers.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
I love that.
Thank you.
Nice.
That's why we send each other daily.
Family is family. You make
yeah.
it. Yeah.
I literally have. I have my own nuclear family now.
Love that.
You met my daughter right before this.
Yes, precious.
thank
Super
you.
cute. I wanted
Well-
her to stay.
So my father and I got into a debate last year about whether or not it would be appropriate for a political candidate, funny thing to bring up today after 2 political assassinations happened, for a political candidate to personally profit off of branding of document of faith for, let's say, Christians.
Okay.
So not naming anyone specific, but if someone were to do that, that would probably be wrong. Maybe even called a sin. I don't know. So in our debate, the sides were clearly wrong from my side. Adopted father's side was, you need to take medication for your ADD. And I said, I'm going to prove that I don't.
Oh my gosh, I didn't quite understand the religious part of things, but to answer it in like, you do medication, oh, that's crazy.
This person who
That's crazy.
I grew up Christian, and this
Okay.
person's where, like, probably a big part of why I started in my faith is because my parents were of the same faith. And
Yeah.
so then to have this kind of violation, I feel, in 2024 from, let's just say, any possible political candidate
Yeah.
running for office and selling a Bible and branding it and then personally profiting off of it, I said that was wrong. My adopted father, disagreed with me.
Wow,
And
I don't even know what that is. The
Trump
sound-
Bible? You don't remember this?
I
The
don't.
Lee Greenwood Bible. Oh God, I wish I was as. I had the eternal sunshine of your mind.
No, I don't. I honestly don't. I mean, honestly, David tries to keep up with all the stuff and then kind of filters it out to me because it's just the stuff that happened. It just impacts me so much that, and it's also just so hard to like take in everything. So I can't keep up with everything that's happening in the political news of things. But
Yeah, no, I get that. My wife and I, Mrs. Farx, we met at the beginning of this as well. Same dynamic in our relationship.
oh, really? Yeah.
Whereas Kirk and I debate a lot of things because we're both
Yeah.
keeping up.
Yeah.
'Cause I tend to lean a little bit more left than my brother here, I'd say.
Yeah.
I describe myself as a small government conservative, but not in the way that folks use conservative today.
Yeah.
it's
Well,
definitely
everything
changed.
has changed. I think all the words just need to just mean different things because I just want good people. I just want good people, who want to do good things, and it's hard to find.
So you are from this area, right? You from the Minnesota?
Yes, yeah, the Minnesota. I am from the Minnesota.
That's a Kevin Pollak joke. It's okay. He calls
Name
things.
drop.
What?
Name drop.
Yes.
Yeah.
Name drop. But yeah, I'm from Minnesota, and then I grew up going to Minnehaha Academy. I don't know if you've heard of it. Yeah, and then preschool through 12th grade, so I was like a lifer.
Whoa.
And then I went out east to the Boston area for college, and that's where I met David.
Okay.
Because he's from New Hampshire, kind of Boston, Massachusetts area. And then he came out here.
I'm going to precede David a little bit and say that your mom worked in television production, correct?
Mm-hmm.
She worked for the home shopping network locally that was Evine and is now something else. or-
Yeah, so she's actually, I love that you asked that about my mom because not many people know that connection. So back in 1984 or 3, I don't remember the exact year, when the Home Shopping Network, which was like the original one down in Florida, began, she was one of the first faces of the entire industry. So Bob Circosta started the industry. He was actually on radio and like kind of discovered that like people liked being sold items and like, I don't know, it's like an interesting start story. And so then he was like, let's take this to television. And so there were a couple like local networks, but he made it national. And my mom saw this ad in a paper that was like, come audition for the Home Shopping Network. And she said there were stars around it. And she was like, oh, that sounds fun. Let's do that. And she had no idea what it was and immediately got hired and then started to help shape the entire, what people know as home shopping. So back then she would have been Carmela Richards, and then she's now Carmela Sterling. But she helped kind of come up with how to sell on TV. I mean, it was completely new. And then she left the industry. So she was from Philly. Her parents moved to Florida with her, and then that's where the Home Shopping Network started. And then she was asked to come to Minnesota to start what originally was Value Vision, and then that became Shop NBC. And then it became, I think, Evine, and now Shop HQ is what it's at. But in the move from Shop NBC to Evine, just some things happened, and she decided to leave. And so she hasn't been working probably in like 15 years or something like that.
And you're older than 15 years old, so you experienced her when you were in your like growth or age. Like,
yes,
seeing her go to work, and she was on camera.
She was on camera. Yep, she was. They called her the Queen of TV Shopping. Was her like nickname. That's she was in magazines and newspapers and got to travel around. When I was born here, she was mostly just working here though. And after school, I wouldn't have like an after school program. I'd go to the studio, the same studio that's there now. But although the whole thing is now shut down, they completely, the whole thing is done, which is just so crazy to think that. I mean, it's a dying industry.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't really need it anymore. But my mom still has fans, and they'll like reach out to her and
that's nice.
Follow her on Facebook and stuff. And it was really fun being a kid and going to a studio and experiencing cameras. I mean, that's why I knew I wanted to be in film, is because I just loved the stages and the lights and the cameras and the sets and everything like that. So it was just in me through and through from being a kid.
And you want to get more into the technical side?
I definitely want more in front of the camera. That's how I've always kind of been. But in college, I started studying more like editing and more like theoretical, like technical things too. And I really found that my brain worked really well for editing. And so I started doing that more in college. And then it was like 2020 that I connected with a group of guys who needed an editor, and that's kind of how I started actually working in the industry. And I just love it. I think like it's something that I can always do no matter what age I am. Acting, it's kind of like it comes and goes, right? There's a gig, and then, years, you won't get a gig or blah, blah, blah. It's very unstable, whereas like editing, I can always work that. So it's really nice to have something that I really love and am passionate about, but I can pursue multiple things while doing it.
What are you editing
right now?
What did you learn in, and then what are you editing now?
What am I editing in is Premiere. Everyone wants me to go over to DaVinci, but I don't know. When I'm just attached to the Premiere system, and so like, I don't know, going over to DaVinci feels like a downgrade in some ways.
Ooh.
Because
it's a hot take.
It's a hot take. I like all the bells and whistles, and DaVinci is very like clean, and it's just like, here's what you need. But I like all the little tips and tricks and all the like little things you can add, and I also use the whole Adobe suite. Like I use Lightroom for some photography stuff. I use After Effects for animation. Photoshop I'll use sometimes. They have kind of their own version of Canva as well, Adobe Express, so I use that. I use Premiere Rush. So I use a lot in the suite. So it would be like, if I switched over to DaVinci, then I'd lose out on all the other stuff, so I'd have to supplement them in other ways, and then wouldn't it just come out to the same amount? I'd be curious, but I would try DaVinci, but I don't know if it would be where I'd stay.
Yeah.
The bait I'll give you on that, this isn't the bait portion, but you have to pay a monthly fee for the Adobe suite, and you pay one time for DaVinci.
Yeah, no, that's why I've considered jumping over, is because it's, I mean, like, so I pay the monthly fee for the entire Adobe suite, so not just Premiere. if I were to download just Premiere, it's like a one-time payment, but then you don't get the upgrades and stuff like that. There are so many glitches in Premiere, obviously. So again, I want to try DaVinci, but I've also just not found a time where, like, because I've just gone from kind of project to project, and it would be hard to like bring all of that footage that I'm in the middle of and then switch it over and then blah, blah, blah. So.
Have you used Blender? That was what I was thinking of earlier.
Splendor?
BL.
Animation software?
Yeah, because when using After Effects, I think you can substitute some of the functions of After Effects with Blender.
Oh, I feel like I have heard of Blender.
It's open source, so anyone can use it for free at any time. They've got it on the computers at the library.
Cool.
And just to try and draw a parallel between you and some of the other editors we've had on, or previous Farx brother Nick Farx, who would make the Adobe is glitchy argument. Hey, if you guys want us to advertise,
Yeah.
but Ryan Becken said the exact same thing about going from Adobe Premiere to DaVinci, is that he's getting pushed in the same way by the same forces in the industry. I think.
Yeah. Oh, that's interesting. I was just messaging with him. You said Ryan Becken?
Ryan Becken?
Yeah.
Tell him that that the Farx brothers said you guys sound alike in your editing modes of being.
Well, I think, hold on. Now, I just want to make sure that is who I've been messaging.
It's a different Ryan.
No, it is Ryan Becken. Yeah, I'm doing a commercial gig with him next week.
Nice.
So,
good.
Yeah.
You just did one for the comedian who is a local, who was in all those Adam Sandler movies. I wish I could think of the guy's name.
Adam Sandler movies?
No, it's Nate.
Bargatze?
No, that's the Southern guy. It's Nathan. Everyone's probably screaming who's local. I literally had a guy.
He's local and he's like a part of the Adam Sandler crew?
Wow.
And he's in the past 20 years. He's not like in the 90s movies, because he kind of came up in the Twin Cities in like the early 2000s.
What movie comes to like?
He's in Dickie Roberts, which was an Adam Sandler produced movie. I'm sorry. I should be better.
Look it up, Cal.
I'm not. I have to move into asking Theresa more about herself.
All right.
I can just go down a rabbit hole. So bring me back to.
So did you practice martial arts growing up too? Mm-hmm. Okay, because your dad studied Taekwondo.
Yes. So so David actually works with my dad. It's called Sterling Karate. It's his business. And they actually go into different schools, kind of like morning program, after school program type thing. So it's a really, I've not known anyone else to do it that way. Usually you just have like a dojo and stuff like that. But it's a great business model that, there's no overhead cost or anything. So they teach. And I think David has like 200 students, maybe a little less than 200 students. So it's pretty popular, but he teaches mostly like discipline and confidence and stuff like that. So it's not like super traditional martial arts. Like David grew up doing Kempo, and so his was a lot more like come in and we're going to warm up and then we're going to do these drills and then we're going to have more of a traditional experience. And mine was a little more like fluid, I guess. I still had to like go through the belts and stuff like that, but I got my junior black belt when I was like 11. I call it junior because I was so young, but I think my dad would just call it a black belt, but I haven't gotten like a second degree or anything like that. But I loved martial arts and action movies and everything from like a very young age. I just loved, you have John Wick on in the background right here. I'm just like, I just watched this scene. I just rewatched it.
It's the end of 3, just for the audience.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, thanks. Can't see it. Lols. So much good stuff in John Wick. But yeah, I always really enjoyed it. So then it was such a great connection that David and I had of like, he really enjoys it and I really enjoy it. And then like, what can we do with that? Like, that's so cool. But yeah, I mostly did hockey growing up because I know you had that on there too.
I did.
That was kind of my main thing. I did karate because my dad obviously, taught it and stuff, and I really liked it, but I was really focused in on playing hockey, and I started when I was 5, and then I played like a rec league in college with a bunch of guys, and that was a weird, crazy experience. But
why?
Because guys and girls are very different.
What?
Oh my gosh, that's a crazy thing to say.
I'll take,
when it comes to karate, when it comes to hockey, it's just a completely different experience. It's almost like two different games in a lot of ways. No, it was, I was playing in like a beer league, so it was just a bunch of like dudes, and then our college was like we had jerseys, and I was a captain my senior year, and so we tried to make it legit, but it wasn't really legit. It was just rec.
Were you drinking beer?
No, they call it a beer league because some of the other teens would be
Yeah,
drunk
isn't that
and
the
stuff.
point of beer league? Yeah, you drink before you play the game, or you drink during the game.
Who knows? I tried to take our team very seriously, and I was like, come on, like we gotta win this or whatever. Well,
Have you played broomball?
probably in high school or something. I was never really. I love wearing skates. Like skating is kind of like my first love. That's what brought me into hockey. And then when I played, I was a defense, so I loved then hitting people. And it kind of crosses over into some of like the
Martial
action
arts,
stunt stuff, because I love being thrown around or like hitting, getting hit by things. So I don't know why that, I don't know.
Well, if you grow up practicing martial arts, and it sounds like your dad practiced multiple martial arts, because I read or heard you say Taekwondo, I think, in another interview, but now you're saying karate, so it's both Korean and Japanese. How did your father get connected to these different Eastern?
That's a good question. I think
I'll get him on the show. Don't worry.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, no, he's awesome. He's a quiet guy, so he's not very chatty. But he's I don't remember when he started taking martial arts, but I think he did either karate or Taekwondo, but he chose to call it Sterling Karate because it sounded better. But what he teaches is technically based more in Taekwondo. So it was
Pale
more.
faces don't know the difference.
I know, yeah.
Am I supposed to say pale faces?
Yeah.
I'm gonna.
I mean,
don't know.
they called it the Karate Kid with Jaden Smith and Kung Fu in the movie.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I didn't realize that.
The white guy, the Italian guy, teaches Jackie Chan or the kid how to say karate. I didn't see it. I just heard someone.
Oh
say
yeah,
it.
I really want to see that.
I have not heard good things.
Yeah.
and
Really?
It's kept me from going.
That's
to see
why
it.
I'm waiting for streaming.
But it's Jackie Chan.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
I
like
love
Jackie
Jackie
Chan.
Him.
Wait, what age did you see Shanghai? Like, when did you start getting into action movies? What age?
That's a good question. I don't even think I realized they were action movies when I was watching them, but I had a very free childhood. I could just basically do whatever I wanted. So we watched, oh my gosh, all the like Austin Powers movies. I know those aren't action films, but there's a lot that happens in them, and I liked the excitement of that. Judo. But like the action comedy always got me. Like I loved the Rush Hour films, like kind of that genre of like action comedy. Even Adam Sandler films, like they're not action movies, but there's a lot of like slapstick comedy type things. Throwing yourself around, or like somebody slips and falls, and like I always thought that stuff was super funny. And then obviously I was really into like all the Marvel stuff when it was hot.
And it's still hot. How dare you?
It's not. It's cooling down.
It's
though.
absolutely in the toilet. Sorry.
Wait,
Hot take.
have you seen? Well, this is your interview section, but have you seen any of the? What's the last one you saw?
I haven't seen Thunderbolts.
Okay.
I really want to see it. I do like Florence Pugh, but I've heard bad things about it as well. So.
Oh, I've only heard good
bad
things.
about the. What
Thunderbolts.
bad things did you hear? I'm curious.
Well, just that it's not very good. But I've also heard that it's good. So that's why I still want to see it. I want to still give it the time of day.
I took my 3-year-old to see it.
Oh,
and
really?
She had substantive questions afterwards.
I thought you were going to say she had substances, and I was like, oh no.
She did. She had we never let her have the soda, the sugar-free like lemonade. I think is what she had that time.
Oh.
And today we have to get icy because I made that deal with the older one.
I loved slushies. Oh my god.
Yeah, and we always get the kids pack, which doesn't come with an icy. So this time I have to get a separate icy for the older one, and then the younger one will do kids pack because the older one doesn't like popcorn. Don't get me started. Do you have siblings?
I have an older sister and a younger brother who has Down syndrome, so he's kind of like a kind of a little kid forever, which I love. But yeah, older sister.
Okay, so you had an older. Is she also a hockey player?
No. We're like literally like yin and yang. We're like completely opposite people. She did dance growing up, and I really wanted to do dance as well, but she was like, this is my thing, not yours. You can't do it. And so I kind of just leaned harder into hockey. So I played hockey year round. I played summer leagues. I played spring. I played AAA, and I played all kinds of things literally year round, which I'm now having major problems with my body because of that. So like I've been seeing a PT. I've seen multiple PTs, but this one I really, really like, and everything leads back to playing hockey as my only sport. So if you have kids and don't put them in just one sport. Do multiple sports for as long as you can, and then late middle school, high school, they can really lean hard into one. But even when they do, they should be cross training because I was left-handed, so it was like, if you picture holding a stick, kind of, my whole left side is just constantly scrunched, and it's just all messed up. So
When I look at you, that's what I see, is just you
Messed
leaning
up.
to the
Yeah.
left side. Yeah, they do that at my boxing gym. It's that we'll have not so many hockey players, but a lot of basketball players coming through to do boxing training to be good for basketball.
Yeah, and I feel like basketball, football, like they know much more about the body and how to take care of it. And then hockey, it's like they specifically are like, I don't care. I broke my wrist when I was like 12 or 13. No, I was like 12. And my coach was like just pissed that I broke my wrist doing something else. I was snowboarding. And instead of being like, hey, like you gotta take care, he was like just angry at me. And I was like, oh, this is just hockey culture.
That's not healthy. It's kind of like work. It's like how people will, in the tech revolution, there was this, we're gonna like, your whole life matters. And like, we want you to take time off and that sort of thing.
Sure.
But then the reality set in of like, no, we're just grinding to make money here and that's it.
Yeah.
I bring that up because you're freelance, correct? So all 1099, everything you're doing, and
everything,
full-time, 1099.
Taxes are fun.
I absolutely abhor doing them.
Yeah.
Say why it's fun for you in whatever way you're comfortable. I'm not asking you to
more sarcastic.
Yeah.
Of like,
sarcastic.
I understand
more
sarcasm.
But at the same time, I love organization. Like I'm definitely type A, and I think honestly that's part of why I really love editing, because like so much of editing is just making sure you're organized, and even the way the clips are, it's like, is this the best organization of this story? Like, is this the best way to tell this story? And like, I try to keep a very clean editing space. I'm doing a feature film right now, and I have literally everything in folders by scenes and colors, and like, it just makes me excited. But I do like that about taxes, is being organized, but actually trying to accomplish them is a task.
Wait, does David help you?
My gosh, yeah.
I noticed I haven't asked questions about David because this is your solo interview.
It's really weird being here by myself. Like I literally feel like I'm missing part of my body, which is David.
But you edit separately from him all the time, right?
I do, but he, pretty much everything I've edited, we've been in. It's been our thing. So we edit together. Like I couldn't I could accomplish it, but he makes it so much better because he has a very similar sense of rhythm as I do, and he knows how the action should look. And that's like a lot of even big directors and editors work very closely together to tell the story they want to tell. So it's not just like, I'm going to do all the editing and like the director won't have any say in it. It's like they work very closely. And sometimes when you have a big action film, the second unit director will also be a part of that conversation to make sure every hits and oh my gosh, that guy's so funny.
Oh yeah, we're gonna people will have already heard. Sorry, I'm gonna meta break again. Our John Wick debate. By the time they're hearing this, once they're all out, they could listen in any order they want.
Oh, fun. Okay, cool.
One of the things I don't like about the John Wick and Ballerina movies is that the characters don't come from movie to movie. There's the standard set. Like this guy, I'm trying to think of his name. Something Ma, I think is his name.
I don't remember. He's so funny though.
And then there's Donnie Yen in the fourth one, and it's like they're sort of similar, but they're different. And like what I'd like to see is both of those guys.
There's no like character crossover. It's almost like he's the only one crossing over, or like, the continental people crossing over, but there's just new stories every time.
So in the story of David and Theresa, see how I did that?
Good job. Good transition.
Thank you. What are the pros and cons of working with your spouse? I ask because like here's my spouse's perspective on making movies. I feel bad for you because it's so much work. It's hard to make money doing unless you're doing a certain type of work. Yeah. And it seems like it takes a lot out of you. Yeah. I'm glad I don't have an affliction like that. It's like you have an addiction, but it's not an unhealthy addiction. So like you're addicted together. I'm not I'm not diagnosing you. But what are the pros and cons of being addicted to something with your husband?
Yeah, it's so funny you said it that way because I think it was last year after. We made Tuesday in Stone, and we were like, that was a lot. I'm never going to do that again. Let's do it again. And it's like, it is that, like, I want more, even though it takes everything out of me, and there's just always conflict, but, like, somehow it makes us want to keep going. So it is, I don't know if that's the definition of an addiction.
I'll give you a different example. Laura Runge Hunt and Nathan Block you just worked with, and I've always been kind of a stickler about separating Laura Runge Hunt from Sally Ann, her daughter.
Yeah.
And, you know, husband and wife, different than mother-daughter, who are both in the industry.
Yeah.
And that's, again, you know, you're here without David, and that's why we focused on just you. But you, as a couple, then worked with 2 other people who work together often. What was it like going from the unit that you have to a different, like, larger unit?
Good question.
Thank you.
I'll just say that, like, it definitely brought David and I closer, and helped us see what we want to do more of and what, like, creates a healthy set, and what doesn't create a healthy set. So just wanting to kind of keep growing as a couple to get, like, just in lockstep. That's kind of what we always say, is like in lockstep with each other, where if we're on a set and we're running the set, that, like, we're just that solid for our whole team, you know. And we've done a lot of work on being a couple and in our marriage, and we continue to do that. And honestly, the whole ADHD diagnosis thing was a huge help for both of us, because we'd have a lot of, and still do have a lot of misunderstandings, because I just wouldn't understand what he's saying, or I would just kind of, like, my brain would just be on overload all the time, and it made communication very difficult. And so now, being more aware of how my brain works, I'm trying to, like, cater more towards that and help both of us in our marriage just, like, slow down a little bit, because I can just, like, you know, and I'll just go. So in terms of, like, filmmaking stuff, I feel like we're still in this, like, growing phase where we're not quite, like, 100% in lockstep, but we are absolutely getting there. And I feel like we just kind of keep merging with each other. We're, like, just one unit.
I mean, that's the marriage. You're, you know, you're one with your partner.
Yeah.
My wife isn't here. She's inside with the kids right now.
Yeah.
You mentioned something that I'm curious. I'm not asking for specific examples. What makes, in your view, a healthy set, and what can make an unhealthy set?
I think starting with a clear leadership, like, you know, even when we did Tuesday in Stone, like, David was the director, and, like, I had so much say, and I was producing, and, you know, all that kind of stuff. But on a set, you need to hear one voice making final calls, and obviously, like, everybody has a part that they play, which is really important. But it would be David's voice that people would hear, you know, action and cut, and any final decision was his, because, like, it once you're on a set, like, things need to get done. So that's what I would say first of all, and then second of all, just keeping arguments out of the process. Like, we're all here to make something really good, and everyone wants to make something really good. And so if there's disagreements, just trying to do it in, like, a constructive way, and any sort of, like, quabbles, it's like, you know, there was one moment on Tuesday in Stone, our friend Zach Anderson shot it. So it was him, and then Arthur Hay was there. So it was just the 4 of us, and, like, you didn't even get to see it because we cut the whole thing because it was just not good. So it didn't really even make it into Tuesday in Stone. But David and I had a big disagreement on set, and we kind of, like, took it aside, and we're just not on the same page. And we were like, I do not like this feeling. Like, I do not like having this, and I don't want this to happen again on set. Like, we are a team, and teammates often disagree, but they're still, like, wanting to, like, be in lockstep with each other. So I'm distracted by the movie now.
Oh, I never disagree with my brother.
I think that's a
Never.
right there, yeah.
People never disagree.
That was a transition to you for the.
For me to close out this episode.
This is a segment we call.
Segment. Oh,
it's all
sorry.
one episode, and then there's segment.
Yeah.
You've corrected me on that.
Now you're correcting me.
And
the other way.
I'm ascending to your view of things.
Oh, thanks.
Because I care about it. And can I tag up on what you said?
Yeah,
JK Productions has a principle that we have hierarchies for efficiency, not for supremacy, but for efficiency.
Yes,
so
absolutely.
I think you're speaking to something that we have discussed as a team.
And we can all agree on that discussion.
Yeah.
Well, to wrap this up, Theresa, who do you recommend we ask to be on the podcast?
There's so many amazing people. Oh my gosh. Well, you've already had my favorite person, David. Have you had Alex Rumsey?
We have had Alex. We probably will have her again if she wants to.
Yeah, definitely have her and Joel.
Oh yeah, we didn't have Joel. We were supposed to have Joel, but Joel had a conflict that time, so we just had Alex.
I mean, she's a force to be reckoned with in and of herself, so she's amazing. Love her.
Agreed.
Krista Rose. Have you had Krista?
We tried to get her on this episode, but she's a mother. She's a professional. So
you should have told me. I would have texted her. That would have been fun because we're friends.
Yeah, we know.
But yeah, definitely. You don't know. I'm just kidding.
I don't know in what way you are friends.
No,
I was aware
yeah.
of your connection to each other.
Of course. Yeah, but that'd be fun to have her for sure. So I'd recommend her.
This is how we're going to get her on, Kirk.
Yeah, send this to her. Yeah.
I do appreciate being asked to do specifically ballerina. Like it made me feel like all the work I've done has been important, and like that my viewpoint is important, and that makes me feel good. So I wanted to thank you guys for asking me to do it.
For our next week, we'll be sitting down with Chris Wells.
Yeah,
Chris Wells and Andrew Schmidt from High Horse Productions
to discuss 1985's
Better Off Dead.
Yes, we got it.
Yeah, we got there.
Good job, guys.
Thank you for listening. For more JK Productions, find us on Instagram at JK Productions Team and on Facebook, JK Productions MN. Join us next time for another debate.